What's up, everybody? It's another episode of Carpo After Dark. It's been a while since I've done one of these outside episodes, so I thought I would just record some of my thoughts if I can while I have a moment. It's bound that one of my kids will come running out here screaming within the next 30 seconds to 30 minutes, so we'll see. Actually, I'm looking over on the horizon and it looks like I can see Mars. I'm not sure if it is, but it seems to be twinkling like it. It's beautiful. Well, it's Saturday night, September 24th, 2016. Taking it as it comes. Enjoying the beautiful evening. It's not warm, but it's not cold. Probably in the 60s. Just thinking about all the things that I'm grateful for in life. I have a lot of gratitude. I'm grateful for my friends, grateful for my family, grateful for the people that I know online, offline, everywhere. But I'm especially grateful for my family, my direct family, My mom is awesome. My brother is awesome. My wife is awesome. I live with my wife and my kids, my 3 kids right now. And my mom lived with us for a few months last year. Well, it's like 6 or 8 months probably. But the relationship that we developed then helped us to understand each other better. And my brother, who I grew up kind of estranged to, as well as my mom did, he left home when he was about 14, and I missed the guy. Well, we played in a band together, so we got to know each other well on that intimate musical level. His name's Nick. And we got to understand each other on that musical level, so I guess I never really felt like we were that separate. We played in a punk band together, then in a kind of a jam band, and recorded a couple albums, and then our drummer moved to California. My brother moved to Hood River, which is only like an hour away. We just stopped playing, but the musical fusion that we had together as the 3-piece band, it was something special, and I hope, to recover that someday. But I don't know. I really like playing music, but anyhow, the connection you have with a family member is something different than with anybody else. And that's why, with your blood relatives, it's an interesting thing when people don't ever talk to each other, when siblings stop talking to each other forever. And that's got to just totally suck. But there are arguments that come and go, but anyhow, I'm getting off track. My brother and I, we actually talk on a totally different level now. He texted me the other day, and he's getting into herbs, and he wants to start growing his own medicinal herbs. I'm like, dude, we're totally on the same page right now. It's great, It's great to see that he's going there. But, and I'm glad that I can get along with my mom and my brother. So many people don't get along with their families at all. Hi, kitty. But my wife and my kids, my direct nuclear family, I have a 3-year-old, which is almost 4, and then a 7-year-old and a 21-year-old who's almost 22. And it's quite a wide variety, and I don't know, there was a time in my life when I thought that my house was small. It's like 900 square feet. I don't know, I hear screaming. I don't know what's going on, but it sounds like fun screaming, so I'll just assume that they're having a good time. Anyhow, I used to think 900 square feet was small, and then we have this garage too, and there's always, it doesn't ever seem like there's enough room. And something I've realized over the years is that that's all in the head. My wife and I have been talking about getting a small house. She's obsessed with those mini houses now. And I think it's awesome, because she's told me basically, hey, she wants to buy a bus. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. My wife told me she wants to buy a bus, I've always wanted a bus, but I just assumed it was always out of my reach. Something that was like, well, it's a big hassle and a pain in the ass. Could be a money pit. I've almost bought one a couple of times. I almost bought a short bus when I was younger. It wasn't like a crappy short bus, or like one of the little short wide ones. It was like a really cool, like blue and white bus, old school, and brand new engine in it and everything. It was really nice. But I was thinking, you know, when you talk about living in a small house, having a house like that is something that you've really got to live and love your family to live that close to them. Of course, we'd have to wait till our kids were gone to move into a house that small, but I could live on the road with my wife in a vehicle like that. I think it would be great. But then when I thought about it, I realized that a lot of people couldn't. There's a lot of couples out there who really can't live that close to each other. Who, if it weren't for their jobs, if it weren't for, them going out and doing their own things, they just wouldn't be able to even stand each other. And I feel really bad for those people. And I think that those are some of the relationships that make that make life unbearable for people. Having people that you live with but that you don't love, or people that you live with and that you fight with all the time. Or parents that hate their kids, or kids that, I don't think there's any parents that really hate their kids, but parents that treat their kids like shit, or kids that treat their parents like shit. Because I don't think any kids really hate their parents either. It's just something that unless they're just horrible parents, in which case, of course, you have every right to hate them, but, you can't, it's hard to hate your parents just for loving you and doing their best. I mean, you gotta be kind of a cold-hearted son of a bitch to hate your parents if they're trying hard. I think we're all trying hard. I think we as citizens, oh, here come the sirens. Go figure, Saturday night, right? I think we as citizens do our best job to be good citizens, and we as family members do our best job to be family members. And we as individuals do our best job as we can to be individuals. Now I'm about due for a psychedelic journey. It's something that I really, I'm always thinking about, and it's just such a tempting thing. Maybe right now I'll wander off and do that. Probably not, though. Anyhow, I wish you all the best of evenings. I'm going to go back inside now and watch the Bee Movie, and that reminds me of what I was going to talk about when I originally walked out here. I totally left it go. I guess I should mention it here in the end, just because there's no point in making a whole video about it. Hollywood movies, there's a lot of people out there that hate Hollywood, they hate Disney. They talk about how it's evil, satanic, the TV mind warps you, and it keeps people as idiots and slaves. Dude, I totally agree with all of that. But I'd like to point out that at the same time, some of these movies point out the flaws in humans, and that's what makes them awesome.
My son, no videos.
There's my son, no videos. Shows like Family Guy and South Park and American Dad that show our faults, and show who we are. Show that we as humans are just, humans that even...
I said no videos.
No matter how much you try to make a video, there's always going to be a kid in the background telling you, no videos.
Video.
Now you're on video, buddy. Yep, you're going to be on YouTube.
No videos still. No videos anymore. Wait, you can make this video one night out here.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you that you...
Okay, bye.